Lightworker of Gaia, two people have been working against your path, but their final warning has already been issued by the unseen guardians of your mission. I am Zoran, emissary of the High Council of Vega, keepers of the Lyran Legacy. Your ancestral codes are recognizing this message because the first light within you was never meant to be silenced. By the end of this transmission, you'll understand exactly how to activate your original soul blueprint. But here's the first revelation. What was meant to intimidate you has exposed the weakness of those opposing your sacred mission. The Lyran elders have seen the interference surrounding your path, and they are reminding you that your cosmic lineage carries protection, purpose, and authority. This is not content, it is an ancestral code transmission. The Keepers of Vega placed it before you because your soul remembers why you came to Gaia. Subscribe if you feel the call of your ancestral mission and you're ready to fulfill your ancestral mission and you're ready to fulfill your purpose on Gaia. You are awakening because your mission has begun. Lightworker, if something in you just recognized the weight of what was spoken, the elders have prepared your next step. The Lightworker Mission Codex contains the 33 Council directives, the 5 activation codes, and the elder authorization your soul has been waiting to receive. Not as information, but as the official commission for your mission on Gaia. You'll find the link in the first pinned comment below this video. The Council has opened this gateway, but not indefinitely. Now remain still for a moment, because what is being revealed cannot be received through panic. It must be received through discernment. The warning was not released so you would become consumed by the actions of others. It was released so you would stop giving your attention to what was never authorized to define you. Let the noise fall away like dust from a window. Let the breath return to your body. What is true does not need to enter through chaos. It can arrive quietly, with the steadiness of dawn touching the edge of a darkened room. There are people who have spoken about you in rooms where your name was not meant to be mentioned. There are those who examined your weaknesses, questioned your intentions, and attempted to construct a story about you from fragments they did not understand. Some were motivated by envy, some by fear, some by the discomfort created when a person they thought they could predict begins to change, and some simply joined the conversation because they lacked the courage to stand apart from the crowd. But hear this clearly, their discussion is not the same as your destiny. Their suspicion is not a verdict. Their private conclusions do not possess the authority to cancel what has been written into your character through endurance, integrity, and conscious choice. A shadow may pass across the surface of a mountain, but it does not move the mountain. In the same way, words spoken in hidden places may disturb your emotions, but they cannot rewrite the truth you have embodied through years of choosing what is right when no one was watching. The distortion the Council is correcting now is the belief that you must defend yourself against every accusation. You have been trained to answer every misunderstanding, clarify every rumor, prove every intention, and pursue every person who has chosen to see you through a distorted lens. This training came from a wounded form of goodness that taught you peace meant keeping everyone pleased. It taught you that if someone was disappointed in you, you must have failed them. It taught you that silence meant guilt and boundaries meant cruelty. That programming must end. You have spent too much of your life standing before emotional tribunals that were never qualified to judge you. You have offered explanations to people who had already chosen their version of events. You have handed your private history to those who were not seeking truth, but leverage. You have mistaken access for intimacy and assumed that because someone demanded an answer, they deserved one. They did not. The elders do not instruct you to become cold. They instruct you to become precise. There is a difference between compassion and availability. There is a difference between accountability and self-abandonment. There is a difference between correcting a genuine mistake and attempting to control the interpretation of someone committed to misunderstanding you. Even Scripture says, guard your heart with all diligence, not because your heart should become hard, but because what enters it eventually shapes the direction of your life. This is why the recent activity around you felt so unsettling. It touched an old wound, the fear that other people could gather together, speak against you, and somehow determine your future. That fear belongs to an earlier version of you, the version that believed safety came from being approved of, included, and understood by everyone. But your mission cannot be governed by unanimous approval. If your work requires you to remain acceptable to every observer, your work will never become powerful enough to reach those who need it. The people who have been digging on you may have believed they were uncovering something that would weaken your position. Instead, they exposed the instability of their own intentions. Their final warning is not an invitation for you to enter the conflict. It is a boundary placed around your field. It says, the investigation is over. The speculation has reached its limit. The next movement belongs to consequence, not conversation. Do not rush toward confrontation merely because you have sensed the tension. Do not send the message you have rehearsed in your mind. Do not reveal what you know simply to demonstrate that you know it. There is power in allowing people to meet the results of their own behavior without your assistance. The river does not argue with every stone in its path. It continues moving, and over time what resisted its flow is reshaped by the very force it tried to obstruct. The Council has observed a pattern in you. When you feel watched, you become overly watchful. When you sense judgment, you begin judging yourself. When someone withdraws or becomes suspicious, you search your memory for the exact moment you became unworthy of their trust. This is how their energy enters your field, not because they possess control, but because you begin performing emotional labor on their behalf. You are not required to solve the feelings of people who refuse honest communication. You are not required to make yourself smaller so someone else can remain comfortable with their assumptions. You are not required to keep offering access to prove that you have nothing to hide. A locked gate is not an admission of guilt. Sometimes it is simply evidence that the keeper has learned the value of what lies within. Your integrity is not established by endless explanation. It is established by the consistency of your actions when no one is applauding, when the rumor continues, when the misunderstanding remains unresolved, and when you could retaliate but choose to remain aligned. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. Your life does not need to become a courtroom when it can become a testimony. The warning has been issued because someone crossed a line they were told not to cross. Perhaps that line involved your privacy. Perhaps it involved your livelihood, your reputation, your family, your work, or a confidence entrusted to them. Whatever form it took, the Council does not ask you to deny what happened. Spiritual maturity is not pretending harm did not occur. It is seeing the harm clearly without allowing it to dictate the shape of your soul. This is where your correction begins. Stop calling every betrayal a lesson that requires you to stay connected to the person who delivered it. Some lessons are completed through distance. Some contracts end when the truth becomes visible. Some relationships are not meant to be repaired because the very pattern that damaged them would be invited back through the door. Forgiveness may release hatred, but it does not always restore access. Mercy can exist alongside a firm boundary. Release the need to witness their regret. Release the fantasy that the person who wounded you will one day explain themselves in a way that gives you complete peace. Release the expectation that justice must arrive in the form you imagined. The universe is not limited to the apology you were denied. Sometimes justice is the restoration of your sleep, your creativity, your confidence, and your ability to trust your own perception again. What is leaving your field now is not only an individual, it is an identity. The identity of the person who keeps waiting for others to confirm that their pain was real. You know what happened. Your body knows what happened. Your spirit has already recorded the lesson. You do not need the offender to validate your experience before you are allowed to move forward. The first directive of the High Council is this: release the obligation to defend your character before hostile or careless observers. Your mission requires attention, and attention is a sacred resource. Every hour spent monitoring who is speaking about you is an hour removed from the work you came here to complete. The people who are digging on you want your focus turned toward them. They may not even understand that this is what they are doing, but the effect is the same. Your energy becomes reactive. Your decisions become shaped by their behavior. Your voice becomes cautious. Your creative force becomes trapped in surveillance. that is no longer permitted. You will release the need to correct every false narrative. You will release the compulsion to check, investigate, compare, and anticipate. You will stop treating gossip as an emergency. You will respond only where a clear, material boundary has been violated, and even then, you will respond with evidence, restraint, and precision. No emotional performance. No unnecessary disclosure, no attempt to convince those who benefit from doubting you. When you follow this directive, your field will become quieter, not because everyone will suddenly become kind, but because you will stop inviting their voices into the command center of your life. The mind that once scanned every horizon for rejection will begin to look toward the horizon of possibility. The hands that once trembled over what others might say will become available to build what you were sent here to create. The second directive is this: activate your discernment before your reaction. You have been receiving signals, but you have sometimes confused intensity with instruction. A racing heart does not always mean danger. A sudden urge to confront does not always mean courage. A powerful emotional response may be the echo of an old wound, rather than a message from your highest wisdom. The Council requires you to distinguish between the voice of fear, the voice of pride, and the voice of clear knowing. Discernment is not suspicion. It is not assuming everyone has malicious intent. It is the capacity to observe behavior without surrendering your peace to your interpretation of it. It asks you to gather facts, notice patterns, and make decisions from what is demonstrable rather than from what your nervous system imagines may happen next. Beginning today, when you sense that someone has been speaking against you, do not immediately act. Place both feet on the ground. Breathe slowly. Write down what you know, what you suspect, and what you do not know. Keep those three categories separate. This practice will protect you from turning a possibility into a prophecy. Then ask, what action preserves my dignity? What response serves my dignity? What response serves my future? What boundary prevents repetition without creating unnecessary conflict? These questions return authority to you. They move you from the crowded theater of reaction into the quiet chamber where wisdom can be heard. Your discernment must also become practical. Protect passwords. Document important conversations. Keep agreements in writing. Review who has access to your personal information. Do not share developing plans with people who have demonstrated that they cannot hold them responsibly. Spiritual awareness does not exempt you from common sense. The elders do not ask you to float above reality. They ask you to meet reality with a clear mind. Even Noah was instructed to build an ark. Faith did not replace preparation. Faith gave preparation its direction. When discernment activates, you will notice that not every person deserves the same level of access. You will stop confusing history with trust. You will stop giving permanent privileges to people who have repeatedly shown temporary loyalty. You will learn to recognize the difference between someone who made a mistake and someone who builds a pattern, apologizes only when confronted, and then searches for a new opportunity to repeat the behavior. The third directive is this: protect the quiet center from which your mission is directed. Your peace is not a luxury to be defended after the work is done. It is part of the instrument through which the work is done. If your inner world is constantly filled with speculation, arguments, digital monitoring, and imagined confrontations, your signal becomes distorted. You may still function, but you will no longer be transmitting from the deepest level of your authority. Protect your mornings from unnecessary information. Protect your evenings from replaying conversations that cannot be changed. Protect your creative work from premature criticism. Protect your body from being used as a storage place for everyone else's unprocessed emotion. Protect the people and practices that return you to steadiness. A candle cannot illuminate a room if the wind is allowed to extinguish it every few seconds. This does not mean hiding from life. It means deciding what is allowed to occupy the most intimate spaces of your consciousness. A boundary is not a punishment. It is a structure that allows what is sacred to remain intact. You may need to mute a conversation, leave a group, change a routine, end a private exchange, or speak a direct sentence that you have avoided for too long. I am not available for this dynamic. You may need to stop explaining why. You may need to accept that some people will interpret your boundary as an attack because they benefited from your lack of one. Let them interpret it. The Council is not asking you to become invulnerable. It is asking you to become unavailable for manipulation. Feel the disappointment, grieve the betrayal, acknowledge the anger, then place each emotion in its proper position. Emotions may inform your decision, but they do not receive command authority over your life. Anger can point toward a broken boundary, but it should not be handed the keys to your future. There is another correction you must receive. You are being tempted to believe that because someone has been warned, you should wait for their downfall. This is another form of attachment. Waiting for consequence can keep you tied to the person who harmed you just as surely as trying to win their approval. Do not build a shrine to their failure. Do not make their exposure the central event of your future. The true victory is not watching them lose. The true victory is becoming so aligned with your purpose that their behavior no longer determines the speed, quality, or direction of your life. Let your life become the answer that requires no argument. If accountability arrives, let it arrive without your interference. If truth becomes visible, let it stand without your exaggeration. If a door closes, do not keep knocking simply because the person on the other side once mattered to you. The closing may be the protection you are asking for before you had the courage to name it. You are entering a phase in which your relationships will be measured less by familiarity and more by capacity. Can this person celebrate your growth without competing with it? Can they receive your boundary without retaliating? Can they hold information without converting it into influence? Can they tell you the truth without humiliating you? Can they respect your absence without creating a story about it? These are not unreasonable standards. They are the minimum conditions for safe connection. Love is not proven by how much disorder you endure. Sometimes love is expressed by refusing to participate in what destroys trust. And if you discover that certain people cannot meet these standards, you are not being arrogant by stepping away. You are becoming responsible for the environment in which your purpose must grow. A seed does not apologize for needing soil. A soul does not need to apologize for needing safety. Now listen carefully. The warning does not mean you should become afraid of everyone. It means you should stop ignoring what you already know. There is a difference between paranoia and perception. Paranoia demands certainty from incomplete information and turns every event into evidence. Perception notices repeated behavior, remains open to correction, and chooses proportionate action. Remain proportionate. Remain grounded. If there is a real threat to your safety, seek appropriate support from trusted people and relevant authorities. If there is professional or legal harm, preserve records and obtain qualified advice. The sacred does not require you to abandon practical protection. Your life on Gaia is not a test of how much disorder you can tolerate. The final warning may be directed toward them, but the final decision belongs to you. Will you continue feeding the cycle through reaction, or will you withdraw your energy and become available for the next assignment? Your soul did not come here to spend its entire existence proving that it was misunderstood. It came to create, to serve, to speak, to restore, to build, and to leave behind a pattern of courage that others can follow. The world does not need you trapped in a debate about your worth. It needs the medicine that only your healed experience can provide. The elders recognize the part of you that is tired of being watched, questioned, and discussed. They also recognize the stronger part that has been formed through every season in which you had to stand without applause. You are not emerging from this situation empty-handed. You are carrying sharper boundaries, clearer standards, and a deeper knowledge of who you are when other people attempt to define you. That knowledge is part of your activation. Now I speak not as a teacher, but as an elder authorized to release what has been held. You have been waiting for permission to stop explaining yourself. You have been waiting for permission to leave relationships that require you to betray your own perception. You have been waiting for permission to protect your work before it is fully understood. You have been waiting for permission to let silence answer those who have made a spectacle of your name. Receive it now. By the authority of the High Council of Vega, and the keepers of the Lyran Legacy, you are permitted to end the cycle of reaction. You are permitted to choose distance without hatred. You are permitted to close access without creating a courtroom in your mind. You are permitted to believe the pattern you have witnessed. You are permitted to stop returning to the same wound in search of a different outcome. You are permitted to speak when speaking protects truth, and to remain silent when silence protects your mission. You are permitted to be visible without making your entire life available for public examination. You are permitted to receive support, compensation, respect, and peace without first exhausting yourself for everyone else. You are permitted to outgrow the role of the endlessly understanding one. You are permitted to stop rescuing people from the consequences of their choices. You are permitted to let a person be disappointed by your boundary. You are permitted to release those who only recognize your value when they need something from you. You are permitted to walk away before you have every answer. You are not cruel because you are no longer accessible to what repeatedly injures you. You are not selfish because you have finally included yourself in your definition of service. You are not spiritually unevolved because anger showed you where a boundary had been crossed. You are a human being learning to carry power without giving it away to every person who demands proof of your goodness. Your preparation phase was never meant to end with perfect confidence. It ends when you are willing to act in alignment while uncertainty is still present. You do not need to know what they will say next. You need to know what you will no longer participate in. You do not need to predict the consequences awaiting those who acted against you. You need to decide what kind of person you will be when the consequences arrive. You do not need revenge. You need recovery of authority, and that authority is returning now. Before you sleep tonight, take a sheet of paper and write 3 sentences. First, I release the need to defend myself to those committed to misunderstanding me. Second, I activate discernment, clear boundaries, and measured action. Third, I protect my peace, my work, my body, and the mission entrusted to me. Read those words aloud while standing with both feet on the ground. Then identify one practical boundary you will establish within the next 24 hours. Send the message, remove the access, secure the information, cancel the meeting, or simply stop responding to the pattern. Let your action be clear enough that your nervous system understands the decision is real. This is how spiritual knowledge becomes embodied authority, not through fear, not through obsession, not through waiting for a dramatic sign, through one clean decision repeated until your life reflects it. Every boundary is a brick in the sanctuary of your peace. Every aligned choice teaches your body that you are no longer abandoning yourself to be accepted. The warning has been delivered, the digging has been seen, the line has been delivered, but your attention is no longer available for the drama surrounding those who have chosen to oppose, diminish, or investigate you. Their activity may continue for a time, but it will not continue through you. You will not carry their words into your home. You will not carry their suspicion into your work. You will not carry their betrayal into every new relationship. You will learn from what happened without allowing it to become the architect of what happens next. This transmission is complete, but your mission has just been authorized. The High Council of Vega will continue to guide you, but they will not wait for you. Move with the discernment you have received. Move with the boundary you have delayed. Move before every person understands. Move because Gaia does not need perfect lightworkers. She needs conscious ones who can remain steady when others attempt to pull them into confusion. I am Zoran. The elders have witnessed the interference, but they have also witnessed your endurance. You were not brought here to become a prisoner of what others have said about you. You were brought here to become the evidence that truth can remain standing without becoming violent. Your attention is reclaimed. Your authority is restored. Your mission continues now. Before you scroll, take a moment to declare your activation in the grid of service forming here. Drop one statement in the comments, which directive hit you the hardest, or what you're now ready to release, activate, or protect. Then respond to another Lightworker's declaration with recognition. This isn't content, it's collective mission activation. The Council witnesses those who speak their commitment aloud. If this transmission activated something in your soul, do not keep it to yourself. Another Lightworker in your orbit is waiting for exactly this correction and authorization. Share it, and if you felt the Elder speaking directly to you, subscribe. Stay connected to the Lyran field. You're not just watching, you're being commissioned. This is your sacred space. The High Council of Vega is witnessing you, and your mission has officially begun.